รายการประเภทนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
เมี่ยงปลาเผาอะครับ
ก็เป็นปลานิลทอดอะค่ะ
ปลานิลทอดน้ำปลาค่ะ
ปลานิลนึ่งมะนาวค่ะ
ราดพริกมันก็อร่อย
จีนหรือเปล่าคะ
มาจากประเทศญี่ปุ่นค่ะ
แคนาดา
มาเลเซียเหรอคิดว่าเป็นของไทยแล้ว
พระเจ้าจักรพรรดิที่ญี่ปุ่นน่าจะมอบให้พระบาทสมเด็จพระเจ้าอยู่หัวครับ
ถ้าพูดถึงปลาที่มีรสชาติดีมีผู้นิยมบริโภคกันอย่างกว้างขวางปลานิลก็คงเป็นหนึ่งในชื่อปลาที่คุ้นหูคนไทยด้วยคุณสมบัติของปลานิลที่มีเนื้อหวานนุ่มและเลี้ยงง่ายเจริญเติบโตเร็วทำให้เป็นที่ต้องการของประชาชนปลานิลจึงเป็นปลาน้ำจืดซึ่งมีคุณค่าทางเศรษฐกิจนับตั้งแต่ปี 2508 จากข้อมูลการเก็บรวบรวมของกรมประมงพบว่าในปัจจุบันภายในประเทศไทยสามารถผลิตปลานิลขายกว่า 200,000 ตันต่อปีโดยมีมูลค่าตลาดรวมถึงกว่า 10,000 ล้านบาทแต่จะมีใครสักกี่คนที่จะรู้ว่าปลานิลที่เราบริโภคกันทั่วไปนั้นมีที่มาที่ไปไกลถึงประเทศญี่ปุ่นวันนี้รายการมิตรภาพไร้พรมแดนรายการที่จะพาคุณผู้ชมไปดื่มด่ำกับความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างประเทศญี่ปุ่นกับประเทศไทยที่มีความแน่นแฟ้นมาอย่างยาวนานจนถึงปัจจุบันเราได้รับเกียรติจากเอกอัครราชทูตญี่ปุ่นประจำประเทศไทยคุณชิโร่ซาโดชิมะมาให้คำตอบเรื่องปลานิลกันที่โครงการพัฒนาที่ดินมูลนิธิชัยพัฒนาบ้านเกาะกาจังหวัดนครนายกกันครับ
คอนนิชิวะซาโดชิมะซัน
こんにちはสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับผม Thank you very much for coming on our show today
My pleasure
So Mr. Ambassador how long have you been in Thailand for
About 1.5 years. I arrived at the end of April last year, so 1 year and 4 months to be precise.
Excellent. How are you enjoying your time in Thailand?
Very much, because I love the country so much.
Do you have a favorite Thai food?
Yes, I do. There are many of them, but I like particularly noodles.
Noodles?
Yeah, kuih tiao or khao soi or Thai noodles. You know, so they are favorites of mine.
I mean, the fish is also very popular in Thailand. Actually, I would like to ask you a bit about planin. Background of planin is very interrelated between Thailand and Japan. Could you give me an outline of how this all happened?
Okay, yes. Actually, the first 50, planin tilapia, which is the name of the fish, were donated, by our Emperor, His Majesty Emperor, when he was the Crown Prince. He visited the country in 1964. Yes, as a part of friendly visits, And then he was told by His Majesty the King that the King was worried by the nutrition, malnutrition of his people.
I see.
In particular, a short intake of proteins. So, having heard this story, he went back to Japan and he came to an idea that to send this donate the fish to His Majesty the King, because our emperor has studied fish for a long time since he was young, and in particular, freshwater fish.
I see.
So he knew, fish, and he knew this tilapia has got a very strong reproductive power. So it might be an idea, and it could be a solution to this malnutrition question. So he humbly donated, the fish, to His Majesty the King. So ever since, the King started the many projects I've heard all over the country to, agriculturing these fish.
Yes, over 200,000 farms all over Thailand. It's quite amazing. It's doing very well.
I see. So background to the name of the fish is planin. Planin is a black fish. because the fish is covered by black scales all over. So people started to call it planin.
Is planin at all popular in Japan?
Well, it used to be. Still, I think some part of the country, eats that kind of fish. But, we eat every kind of fish because we are surrounded by water, by sea, and also, full of rivers all over, mountains, so there are so many various kinds of fish. So whatever, there's a fish, then we eat it.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, your sushi is amazing. I mean, I would like to ask a bit about the sustainable economy developed by King Bhumibol Adulyadej.
Yes.
Could you please give your impression or your ideas on the sustainable economy program?
Okay, I think it is a very good one, and I've heard that particularly after the the Tom Yum Goong crisis of 1997, because His Majesty the King, has started advocating this, since the early 1970s, but particularly after the recovery process from the Tom Yum Goong crisis, so he led the country with this kind of philosophy, vision, an early recovery of the national economy. And we understand, the spirits because we also, from the old days, Japanese version of, can I
Yeah, sure,
look
no
at
problem,
the paper,
no problem.
cunning paper, I need a cunning paper. There's English proverb, which is contented mind is a perpetual fast. And in Japanese, it says that waretada taru o shiru. That means that that contains very similar, and also scientifically, back in 2009, JETRO, a famous, trade promotion organization of Japan, did a study in the country, in Thailand, how his philosophy worked, King's project, royal projects, played what kind of role in the development of the economy. And it had identified this, royal projects led by this sufficiency economy, philosophy have been very successful. And there are many reasons, for that. But one, the study identified, JETRO study identified several things. And first of all, His Majesty the King's leadership, very strong leadership. And two is very strong willingness, in participation, the sense of participation by the folks, by peasants and villagers, and other people in the country. And three, all the plans were well crafted, well prepared. And four is, also detailed, the design was done for implementation, not only for planning but implementation. And also, and lastly, the development of the national economy also helped. With the expansion of market, people started buying many more things, and then, they naturally bought, products from the villages as well. So all these things, all together, helped all these royal projects work and played very important critical role in the development of national economy, particularly in the agro sector.
Thank you very much for information. ขอบคุณมากนะครับผม
Thank you very much.
At this time, if you don't mind, would you like to take a look around the
Yes,
Planin
of
hatchery?
course. Yes, very glad.
Thank you very much. Let's go.
Thank you.